dealing with the cabinet statement, post the cabinet. Firstly, we'll be dealing with the Just Energy Transition Investment Plan. South Africa's Just Energy Transition Investment Plan received wide acclaim at the 27th session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference of the Parties, shortly COP27, being held in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, from the 6th to the 18th of November. 18th is today, no? Yes. The bold plan was endorsed by International Partners Group, the United Kingdom, United States, Germany, France, European Union, and other special partners. It outlines our transition to a low-carbon economy. It also contributes to the global efforts to ensure climate resilience and sustainable development for current and future generations. Being hailed as a groundbreaking new model for tackling climate change, the Just Energy Transition Investment Plan is based on the financial responsibility of developed countries to assist developing nations meet their climate change commitments. It identifies investment priorities in the sustainable and a fair transition towards cleaner energy in the area of clean energy, electric vehicles, and green hydrogen. Climate Change Conference of the Parties. Cabinet supported calls at COP27 being held in the same venue of Egypt from 6th to the 18th November for countries to remain on track to meet the Paris Agreement goal of limiting the global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Our support for 1.5 degrees Celsius target is of utmost importance to South Africa as an African and a developing country that is highly vulnerable to environmental, social, and economic effects of climate change. Cabinet also endorsed the Africa Group position to call on developed countries to honor their pledges and commitments made under both the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and its Paris Agreement. These include a call for developed countries to take the lead on reducing emissions and providing developing countries with financial resources for their own climate action. In the fight against corruption, Cabinet welcomed the recent arrest and freezing of assets of individuals allegedly linked to state capture. These developments are a statement that the work of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into allegation of state capture, corruption and fraud in the public sector, including organs of state, is now bearing fruit. Corrupt people and those who steal the future of our children have no place in our society. Government is committed to dealing harshly with all acts of corruption without fear, favor, or prejudice. Cabinet urges citizens to report all acts of corruption to law enforcement agencies or call the National Anti-Corruption Hotline, which, to remind people, is 0800-701-701. Callers may choose to remain anonymous. On the Kenyan visit, Cabinet welcomed the successful state visit to Kenya by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa at the invitation of his Kenyan counterpart, Dr. William Ruto. The visit included a business forum focusing on trade and investment between Kenya and South Africa. The visit also resulted in the signing of instruments on cooperation in correctional services, human settlement, audiovisual co-production, and on building the capacity of the state with the National School of Government. The two leaders discussed multilateral economic, regional, and continental issues. Kenya is South Africa's largest trading partner outside SADC region, making South Africa the biggest seller of goods to Kenya on the continent. South Africa exported over 6 billion worth of goods to Kenya in 2021. On the matters of severe weather conditions, Cabinet called on the public to exercise caution during unfavorable weather conditions, particularly thunderstorms. Government and the South African Weather Service will continue to provide information on severe weather based on the current observations and predictions. People are advised not to walk, swim, or drive through fast-moving flood water. Do not try to cross a flood area because you could be swept away by the strong currents. Always ensure that your children are safe and they are able to travel safely. On the G20 Leaders Summit, His Excellency President Ramaphosa participated in the 17th G20 Leaders Summit held in Bali in the Republic of Indonesia from 15 to 16 November 2022, which brought together world leaders in the collective effort to find solutions to a wide range of global challenges. The envisaged solutions include increasing multilateral cooperation for the recovery of the global economy, to bring stability to global financial systems, to promote long-term sustainable growth, and to strengthen global economic governance. The theme of the summit held under G20 presidents of Indonesia was, open quote, recover together, recover stronger, close quotes. As part of our nation's engagement, President Ramaphosa participated in the working sessions on the health, food and energy security, as well as held several bilateral meetings with key trade partners. Cabinet welcomed the deliberation at the summit, which underpin our own national practice of reducing poverty, unemployment and inequality. In the area of skills revolution, Cabinet welcomed the official launch of Micro Laboratory at the Goldfields Technical and Vocational Education and Training College in Welkom, Free State, on Thursday, 10 November 2022. This contributes towards skills development, innovation and entrepreneurship, as the country can provide new, better and faster solutions to our challenge of poverty, inequality and unemployment. In other words, it actually beefs the capability of young people to actually be of better assistance as they analyze nature and assisting us on better, quicker, and more quality solutions. On the cabinet decisions, biannual performance reports. Biannual performance report, ladies and gentlemen, is a 6-monthly report analysis by the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation that submits that to the Cabinet on the performance of the state. Cabinet approved the biannual performance progress reports for the period April 1st, 2022 to 30 September 2022. In addition to capturing the biannual performance progress, the report also provides a mid-term review of the priorities of 2019-2024 mid-term strategic framework. The reports also provide analysis of the key indicators of the 7 adopted priorities of government using data collected from the departmental reports, statistics from Statistics South Africa, and reports from academia. The information is analyzed against the National Development Plan, Vision 2030. Cabinet appreciated the remarkable progress reported in some areas that shows performance that exceeded the set out targets. However, it expressed concern at the slow progress reflected in some of the reports. Cabinet approved the proposed interventions to be implemented to fast-track areas that show slow progress. We hope for an elaborate briefing on these matters in the coming days. The Department of Planning and Monitoring will soon convene a roundtable discussion with media to unpack these reports. On the policy measures to restrict trade in scrap metal, to limit damage to public infrastructure and economy. Cabinet considered and approved the comprehensive package of measures to address the damage to public infrastructure and the economy by restricting trade of waste scrap and semi-processed metals. This follows the gazetting on the 5th of August 2022 for public comment of the draft policy proposal on measures to restrict and regulate trade in ferrous and non-ferrous metals waste, scrap and semi-finished ferrous and non-ferrous metal products to limit damage to infrastructure and economy, by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, in consideration of the extensive public comments that were received. Details of the measures to be implemented will now be processed for publication in the Government Gazette by the relevant ministers, and detailed media release containing details of the measures will be released by GCIS as soon as necessary legal work has been finalized. South Africa will also engage with SADC, African Union, and the Southern African Customs Union to ensure a coordinated approach to fight this crime collectively as a region. On the upcoming event, SITSA, shortly referred to Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium South Africa, Infrastructure South Africa, in partnership with GIZ of German Development Agency, will host its third SITSA in Cape Town, Century City, from the 28th to the 30th December 2022. This year's symposium will focus on green hydrogen as an important growth sector in the country, its investment strategy, and how it's going to reposition this country in the green economy of the future. The symposium will bring together decision makers, financial institutions, academics, and international authorities. The event will afford the country the opportunity to showcase some of large and low-cost world-class green hydrogen production hubs. The demand for green hydrogen-based products such as ammonia and synthetic jet fuel is rising. The Department of Science and Innovation in South Africa has been researching green hydrogen with a focus on green mobility and the use of platinum group metals. Cabinet approved Cabinet noted the hydrogen roadmap, Cabinet approved the Hydrogen Society roadmap earlier this year. My apology. The roadmap is one of the government's strategies and policy directions aimed at bringing together a variety of public and private stakeholders and institutions around the common vision of how to use and deploy hydrogen and hydrogen-related technologies as part of the country's economic development and greening objectives. In South Africa, hydrogen is extensively used in chemical and fuel refining sectors, but it is also currently produced mainly from non-renewable sources such as coal and natural gas. On the appointments, all appointments are subject to verification of qualification and security clearance. Ms. Pendla Baleni as the Director General in the Presidency and the Cabinet Secretary, contract extended by 5 years. Dr. Philemon Mpati Mjaha as DG of the DSI, contract extended by 1 year. Cabinet concurred with the Minister of DTI with the following appointments: Board of the South African Bureau of Standards, Dr. Sandile Bethwel Malinga, Chairperson, Tomisang Tsehlo, Dr. Rodzane Namatudi, Ms. Deidre Penfold, Dr. Nandipa Madiba, Ms. Gloria Mnguni, Dr. Ron Josias, Dr. Mukondeleli Grace Kana Kantumba. Board of Companies Tribunal, Judge Dennis David, Chairperson, Ms. Mina Tong Mungalo, Deputy Chairperson, Ms. Diana Telebranche, Ms. Hlaleleni Kathleen Lepu, Professor Clement Maru Muahai, Mr. Joshua Sesha Kadish, Mr. Richard Bradstreet, Mr. Fuluzani Shane Mazunga, Ms. Nomatisa Gawe, Ms. Brian Jennings, Dr. Ali Chitei, Dr. Mashilo Buluka, Interim CEO of the Film and Publications Board, has been appointed to 6-member board of the International Association of Internet Hotline. In Hope is a global body set up in 1996 in the Netherlands to protect children against sexual abuse material. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.